and welcome to Talks with Shay. So today I would like to begin with reading from Romans chapter 12 and verse 18. And it says, "If it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men." So today, for weights part 4, I want to talk to you about let it go. So when I think of letting it go, I think of the weight that we carry around waiting on an apology from someone else. And sometimes the weight of blaming other people for things that we feel. The scripture we just read said that we are to live peaceably with all men. All means all. A lot of times in life, we go through things, and sometimes we expect someone to apologize to us, and they never do. And I've seen in my life, I can testify to this, that there's times where I felt that someone owed me an apology, but God made me go give it. And sometimes that's the way God does things for whatever reason. You know, when a person does us something, sometimes we may even perceive it wrong, if that makes sense. You know, we understand the intentions of people that are close to us, but people that really don't know us or not that close to us, sometimes because we don't really understand their intention, we can like get so bent out of shape, you know, and it's a misunderstanding, miscommunication. But instead of us just asking that person, what you meant by that, we walk away from that comment and feeling all kind of ugly feelings towards that person. But yet, if we would have sat there and asked them, what did you mean by that? We could save ourselves a lot of heartache and frustration. You know, I hear people a lot of times, I'm not going to apologize. But you know what? Apologizing is good for the spirit. And I say that because it brings a vulnerability within a person. It brings a spirit of humility. You have to eat it sometimes. Eat something that doesn't taste too good. And you have to eat that pride, because pride is the only thing that stops us from apologizing to people. Just because they may owe you an apology, they feel you owe them apology. So who's going to be the bigger person to bring that apology forth? What happens is when we don't apologize for things that we've done to people, even receiving it wrong, we owe them an apology for even thinking that they would say something like that or do something like that, or receiving it wrong. We still owe them an apology. You know, even if they were wrong, but we didn't receive it right with the right spirit and the right attitude. The Bible say that we should not be easily offended. You know, and so, yeah, I know, yeah, it's hard, Shalonda. You don't know. Oh, trust. I do know. I'm not saying that I don't struggle with this. I'm telling you this because we all need to work at that. We have to humble ourselves, eat some humble pie, and make things right that have been wrong. Another thing we find ourselves doing sometimes, we blame everybody but ourselves. It's so easy to reflect the blame off of us, to put it onto someone else. But what part have you played in that situation that wasn't handled correctly? We're not perfect. We are imperfect people in an imperfect world, but we serve a perfect God. So who do we think we are that we could blame everybody else? They probably blaming us too. We blaming them, they blaming us. It's like if somebody would just mature up in the situation and apologize, it would just be so much better. Who doesn't want to live in peace? I know I love living in peace, okay? I don't like having issues with people or having to deal with different stuff or seeing somebody and my spirit just feeling, you know, I don't like living like that. I like being able to be in peace wherever I go and whoever I see. Is it a challenge? It is definitely a challenge because we're all human. But at the same time, just like I might be offended by someone else, I'm sure I've done something to offend someone else as well. And I may never know it. You know why? Because that person never told me. and then I can't correct my wrong. And that's what we have to get to a place that we give people chances to correct their wrong, to make their wrong right. And that's what we have to learn to do. If we don't, we hold that weight all our lives. You know, you think back to even growing up as children, different things our parents have maybe done wrong to us or have allowed that we feel things to happen to us. We grow up as adults and we carry all of those weights into our adulthood. It's time to let it go. We have to let those weights go. That does not bring healthy things into our lives. It produces unhealthy relationships with other people because we hold those things in for so long. You know, whatever you need to let it go, whether it's counseling or therapy, or how about best yet, have a real encounter with God and let Him lift that weight off of your shoulders that you've been carrying long enough. Give it to Him. The Bible says He carried for you. Place all your burdens on Him because He cares for you. So we have to take that scripture and activate it in our lives instead of just walking around with all of the weights that people have done to us. You know what? We're going to die. We're going to honestly die expecting certain apologies from people that you're never going to get. And it's okay. And because you didn't get that apology, you're going to live through life bitter and hurt. I don't want to live that way. I just don't, you know, and it's up to us to let it go. Letting it go is a choice, but only you can make that choice. It's time to own it. Stop blaming other people and realize the mistakes that you've made and the things that you've said and done. Also, that people could be blaming you as well. We all have flaws in our lives and done things that we shouldn't have done or maybe embarrassed about or shame about, and we forgive ourselves. Or for the most part, we should. But now it's time to forgive others. Apologize where apologies need to be done and given, and stop blaming other people for the hurt that you feel. You know, I look at this certain person that I know of or whatever, and they have a lot of anger inside of them. The anger stems from the apologies they never got all of their lives. And so they grew up to be an adult, and now they have all kind of anger and bitterness, and they're easily offended, always on edge. It's because of all this stuff they're carrying. But if you don't learn to just let it go and realize, you know what, I may never get that apology. And because you don't, you have to choose on your own to let it go. If you don't, you're going to have issues all of your life in different relationships. It's time for us to mature, grow up, and be everything that we need to be so we can be peaceable with everyone. That's what God's will is for our lives, to have peace with everybody. Everybody is everybody. All men. We got to learn to push through our selfish ways and that hardness and let that wall come down to let us realize, you know what, they may never apologize, but I still have to forgive them for me. Let it go. Let it go. We all have someone in our lives that we've done wrong that we have not apologized to. If we want to be honest with ourselves, I'm sure we all could think of someone in our lives that we never got a chance to apologize to them for. We all are guilty. And yeah, I said all of us, because we are. So it's time to let it go. Whatever apologies you owe to someone, make it happen. The blame that you're shifting, let it go. And own your own part in the conflicts that you've had with other people. It's time to live peaceably with all men. You can do this. I believe in you. Now it's time to believe in yourself. So before I go, I just want to remind you, if you haven't already, check out my website at www.talkswithshay.org. You can subscribe to my videos on YouTube, and I'm on Facebook. Like my page, share my page, invite your friends to like my page. And until next time with Talks with Shay, Shay is out. Y'all be blessed.